Hall 2. You would have to travel through this because that camera will be on, so don't travel behind. एक बार हो जाए ना तो सर का एक जूम ऑन कर दीजिए तो एक बार साउंड चेक कर लेंगे सर. Can you pass me the headphones? ये उन लोगों का इनोवेशन का हेडफोन्स है शायद. यार ब्लूटूथ से नहीं. It's okay. Just switch on your camera once and then we'll. Nice. This is not the one? IT Pro. Yeah. How would you like to or not? I'm sitting beside you now. नहीं दिखा रहा है. Why is the meeting not showing in sir's system?
Have you logged into the portal?
Has it?
The portal is logged in from you. Yeah. Tara's portal is logged in.
If the portal comes later, na Baba, he needs the meeting link. 1 second, I'll just tell you. There's something here. Copy invitation link. Type to filter contacts email. Can you access your email from that system? Yeah, Zoom के अंदर. No, this is the other one, na Ahmedabad Design Week host. Rashish is login ID को suppose ये तो hall 2 का login ID होना चाहिए है ना. I want this login ID for him. Yeah. I'm sure he probably you have logged in from a different type. Anusha, you're Anusha, right? Anushka. Sir needs his login ID. That is a wrong login ID. Just this is an SOS. Please tell them to come immediately. This is urgent. Mr. PVM Rao is online. Hello. Can you hear me, sir? Hello. One second. One second. Can you hear me? You're muted, sir.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, perfect. Can you hear me properly?
Yes. very
Okay,
well.
I can hear you loud and clear as well. All right. Okay. So we would be going live in some time.
Yeah.
one
Let me
second.
just share the PPT and test it. Is that
Sorry.
okay? Let me test the PPT.
Yeah, please go ahead. Sir, will it be possible for your camera, if you can actually, tilt your camera a little bit towards you? Yeah, perfect. A little more probably.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, we
I'll
can see.
adjust that later. Right.
Okay,
now.
not a problem. You can share your screen, so it's absolutely fine.
Are you able to see now?
Not yet. It's coming up. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Perfect.
1 minute.
Do you have a
One-
video or something, or is
Yes,
it
yes.
just this?
Yeah. So
Can-
this is full screen now. I
Okay.
hope it's clear.
Yeah, it's full screen here as well. Yes.
Okay. Just let me see if I can run a quick video.
Yeah, sure.
Is the video coming up?
No, the video is not coming up. If you are planning to show
okay.
the video,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would
1
have to
minute.
stop
1
your
minute.
screen share. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I got
yes,
it.
absolutely.
1 moment. So I share the show all windows. Huh? Is that better? Or
1 second. I got sign now.
should I share the screen or all windows? Maybe screen.
You can share the screen. Yeah, just share the screen, sir.
Yeah, is that better now? Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, but I can see your Zoom link.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
yeah. I'll probably 1 minute. Let me run a video.
Okay, sure. Rename yourself. Rename yourself.
Is that now better?
I can't hear the sound. Is there a sound? I can hear a sound.
But are you able to see the video?
I can see the video. I can't hear the sound.
Okay. Okay, you can't. So I don't know, maybe I'm using the computer audio for speaking.
Yeah.
You want me to use something else?
You are using your earphones, right? So when you're playing the video, can you
Hmm.
just take off your earphones and just let the computer sound play?
No, I don't have a earphone.
Okay, all right. So can you probably increase the volume?
Oh, volume was there. Okay, let me.
The computer's volume. Or else, if you can send me the URL, this particular URL, if you can just send it to me in the chat.
Actually, it's not one. There are 4 or 5.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
So probably, if you can open all the tabs here, the 4 or 5 videos, and just send me the links. So whenever you need, we can play the video from our behalf here.
Okay, so
That
what
works
I'll
out
do
for
is I'll send you slides which have embedded videos.
Okay,
Is
all
that
right.
better?
Okay,
Is-
yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Rashish. Sagar, you need some. Also, Professor Rao, I'm going to transfer the call now to Professor Harish Sankaran.
1 minute. Let's do this.
Yeah. And he will be kind of taking you through.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. That's a formality.
No. No, wait. We are still testing, not like that. We'll go live at 10:30. Yeah?
20.
We still have 8 minutes.
Okay, 1 moment. Just give
Sure.
me.
Yeah. Click one. Close the door. Yeah, absolutely. Because the videos, we cannot hear the videos. I'll just can we do something?
Sunita, I'm almost done.
Sure. I can't. No.
So I have shared the link in my chat window, which you can download.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
So this is the complete one.
Yeah, one. Yeah, just give me a second, sir. Just give me a second. कोई भी Gmail account से एक बार login कर सकते Is it some sort of password protected? Because it kind of shows a blank page, sir.
No, it
You
may
want
be.
to do
It may not have
the-
completely downloaded.
Yeah. 1 second. Running scan, open folder. Just give me a second, sir. Just give me a second, please.
It's a 20 MB file. So it
Yeah,
will
yeah,
take-
that's all right. It already got downloaded. I'm just trying to open it and connect it to YouTube right now.
Yeah.
So just give me a second. So, what I'll do, sir, is I will share my screen.
Were you able to download?
Yeah, I'm able to download.
Wonderful.
I'll share my screen. You can tell me which are links, you want me to.
So actually it is written video.
Okay, all right.
Okay. And
Okay.
another thing is probably there is one place where, or I can say just play the video.
But hold on, 1 second, 1 second. I'll share my screen.
If you want, you can, I think as, okay. Yeah, I'm able
So
to
my
see.
point here is how do you go to the video? Like there's
Yeah,
no URL here.
Yeah. So when you make it full screen, it automatically when you click, there is a hyperlink associated with each of them. So when you
Yeah.
put cursor on the link, you will
Yeah.
actually see the link. If you want, you can open and keep it ready.
1 second.
Go down further.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just run this.
Sorry. This one?
Anyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it didn't run.
I will help you. 1 second. It's opening in YouTube, so I'm trying to get that
So
sorted.
one option is you can take the links and keep it open in the YouTube and just run it when the video comes. That's also one way.
Yeah, I'll just take the links 1 second. Ashish. There's a little bit of a technical glitch. I'll just trying to kind of list all the videos.
That you can do offline also, correct? No.
Yeah, but I mean, before the talk
Maybe-
kind of starts, I'll kind of try and-
maybe one video you can just play and show just for that.
Yeah. I'll show. Can you hear? Can you see my screen? Can you see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah.
Audio,
hear?
I'm not able to. No audio.
Can you hear?
No, hearing is not there.
You can hear
Same
it.
as-
No, I can't hear you.
No audio.
1 second. Hold on. There will be an echo now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Video.
And now can you hear?
Yes. Run it. Yeah, we are able to.
Perfect. So what I'll Um, so just give me a minute before we start off so that I can list all your videos.
Yeah.
Now you hear me now, right? Okay. Good morning.
What?
Is this okay? Can you do it offline also, or it has to be done before it starts?
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Are we ready to go?
Just mute your volume. No, 1 second. I'll just say you have 3 videos. Am I right?
Actually, there are 2 more where you have to click on the link, the text which is there in the middle.
1 second. Can you just help me with that? I'll
Okay,
share my
let
screen.
Let me one
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, sure. So
So one is this is slide number 28.
this one, right?
1 minute before that.
Yeah, just give me a second. Let me just loop it 1 second.
20 and 28 are also videos. 20 and 28 slide.
Yeah, just give me a second. Whenever you want the video to play, just tell us the name of the video, and then we can actually play that.
Yeah. 20 and 28 slides. They are clickable. Yeah, that one. 28.
This is another video, right?
Yeah, 28. Yeah, this is the one.
Location may be unsafe.
Yeah, this may be an issue. Okay.
Yeah,
Just leave it that. Okay,
Okay.
this one I'll play myself. It is actually a local video. Don't worry.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Audio is not important.
1
4.
second. So let me just stop my screen.
Okay.
Make sure that you go slide by slide. I don't know why are we still showing when I've stopped screenshot? Yeah, then why is it still on? Huh? Okay.
Just give me a minute.
All right, sir. I think we are good to go. I'll transfer my call to Harish, sir. Yeah. Yeah, one.
Read live. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, once again, search stimulation, not search stimulation, not interview anything. Only his camera vision full screen. Okay? Yeah.
You're live, is it? Oh.
Something is wrong with the projection. Yeah.
Good morning to one and all. I'm Harish K. Shankaran from School of Interior Design, UID. And from all of us, I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone joining us for day 3 of the online edition of Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0. The second annual ADW event has been conceptualized under the theme of Toying with Design. Inspired by the clarion call of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Bhai Modi ji to make India the global toy hub, the event through its talks and works hopes to reiterate the concept of vocal for local and Atmanirbhar Bharat. Those of you who have been part of sessions in the last 2 days, you've been witnessing a lot of engaging talks from Sudarshan Khanna, Paul Woodnitz, Miguel Wilson, Dadi Padamji, and many more. We hope to continue that momentum through a series of talks from our prestigious speakers from a global community of designers, storytellers, practitioners, academicians, and scholars who will be addressing toys through a multitude of lenses from technology, culture, sustainability, and our transforming relations with them throughout history and towards the future. Without further ado, let's start our day, and I would like to introduce our first speaker of the day, Dr. P.V. Madhusudan Rao.
Okay, so I can go ahead or wait, sorry.
Dr. P.V. Madhusudan Rao is a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Design at IIT Delhi, where he also serves as head of Department of Design. As a coordinator of IIT Delhi's Design Innovation Center, he is also responsible for initiating and driving multiple programs in design, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Having obtained his PhD from IIT Kanpur, he has been a guest researcher, a visiting scientist, and a faculty member to several prestigious universities in America. He and his team's translational research efforts have led to successful products and solutions which are presently in the national and international market and have made an impact. Today, he's going to talk about enabling technologies for toy design. So please join me in welcoming Dr. P.V. Madhusudan Rao. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So good morning and namaskar. So firstly, I thank organizers of Ahmedabad Design Week for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this wonderful event. And I happened to glance through the events which happened yesterday, and it's shaping up really wonderful. And I'm happy to be a part of it. So let me share my screen and then start my presentation. Okay, so I'm sure all of you are able to see the presentation which is there. Okay, so I think the title which I have put for this particular talk is I was asked to speak on enabling technologies for toy design. I have kind of also included emerging technologies as a part of this. So before I start, there is also a disclaimer. I know a little bit about technologies, even very little about design, and probably too little about toys. So the whole purpose of this particular talk is to probably trigger more of a discussion, because design weeks are supposed to be more of interactive and a lot of exchange of ideas and exchange of knowledge. So I would probably try to give some insights based on my experience, and probably we can have a very interactive session. So one of the things which we are also seeing is two things. First thing is key in the past, particularly last few decades, we have seen that technology is actually driving the toy and toy industry in a big way. But very interestingly, many of the interesting technologies have also been tried as a part of toys first before they became a real world reality. So in other words, there is a very close relation between toys and the technology. And it would be a wonderful to look at more from the design perspective. That's what is there. So what I was doing, particularly last couple of weeks, usually what happens is when you have a year end, you also look at technologies which have dominated the year, particularly 2020, and what are the technologies which are emerging, etc. And interestingly, many of the good magazines also come up with various technologies which are like probably dominated or going to dominate in future as far as technology is concerned. So I was particularly looking at a few of them. So one of them was which was from World Economic Forum, which comes up with every year 10 emerging technologies of the year. Similarly, Gartner is very good in looking at technology and future and the trends. This is the second one. Forbes also has an interesting article every year, which basically looks at future of technologies. And I was also looking at Deloitte Tech Trends 2021. Now, each of these magazines and each of these groups actually pick some 10, 12, 15 technologies which are probably going to be more dominant in the future. And very interesting thing which comes out is that most of these technologies, though they are predicted as more of a futuristic technologies, but you can see almost all of them already being applied in the toy design. So in other words, toy design or a toy industry is one which kind of not only advances the technology, but also takes the lead in terms of experimenting with new technologies. And this has been the trend for a very few years. So what are the kind of technologies which you generally see in these probably magazines and articles is things such as probably AI is the most talked about, and also technologies such as 5G and Industry 4.0. And there are some of them are platform technologies, some are very specific like microchip or voice assistant. These are the ones which you'll find in these articles as projected to have a much bigger impact in near future and in the next 5 years, etc. So what we'll do is we'll also look at some of the examples of these applications already which have happened are going to happen in the toy industry. And then towards the end, we will look at when we have a lot of technology which is transforming the toy industry, what is the role of designers? And as a designers, what is that probably we can play a role is an important aspect. So one is, of course, the most talked about of all the technologies which you will find in any trend these days is artificial intelligence. But there is also some, there are a lot of questions which are being asked about AI too. This is also very natural because when I was a student in particularly late 80s, early 80s, and even early 90s, AI was one of the most talked about subject then too. And it kind of promised many things, but those did not happen at the time. So people kind of thought it as a hype. And when now it has come in a very different avatar, people still have some doubts whether it's going to deliver or kind of impact which is being promised, or is it a hype? But one thing which we are seeing is most of the educational institutes have already are very confident that this time the AI is going to play a much bigger role in every aspect, including the toy design. And a lot of new curricula, new programs which have been started around AI and which are already operational, including bachelor's programs and master's programs in AI have been started. And it is also now being introduced in many schools, which is very interesting. And taking this as an advantage, a lot of new startups which are coming out. And the idea of these startups is how do you leverage AI more in education, learning, and particularly in terms of toys and technology. Just to give an example, one of the startup which actually came from IIT Delhi, which is called as Tinkerly. Earlier, the name of this startup was Srijana. Now it has been named as Tinkerly. So what Tinkerly does is it has a whole range of products. One of their products which became very popular, particularly during COVID period, is called as a Truth, which basically helps to introduce artificial intelligence, to some extent machine learning, to kids very early using a gadget of toys. And very interesting product, and already is making a big impact, and which is based in Jaipur. And the student team which was actually working on these, they almost started when they were students. So it's like a student startup which came out of IIT Delhi. And we had a very interesting exchanges when they were still in the initial years and more recently. So what Root actually does is it kind of has a very modular, uses a hardware and also the data. And one can actually use some of these modules to build your own hardware, and also probably do a lot of AI ML related learning, which is there. So it's both physical and digital, and one can, it has a customizable vision and natural language processing. It's very plug and play and vision based, and doesn't expect you to have any background of coding or earlier knowledge in order to learn it. In fact, it is pitched for anybody who is age 8+ in this particular aspect. And they are already probably is with large number of students and schools who are already using this particular one. So one can actually build a variety of interesting products. So it is a hardware, but is also a software which probably helps you to teach AI ML as a part of this particular thing. So what we see is that there are many interesting such startups which are coming up. At least I know IIT Delhi had at least about half a dozen startups which came in last 10 years, which are related to mostly tech toys and toys which can probably help you in terms of learning and education is one of them. So the Tinkerly also has a very interesting app which provides you a huge knowledge base about science, particularly STEM education. Now, I think they are also expanding in terms of STEM to STEAM to include arts, etc. And together with this app and the hardware, digital physical combination with backend also as AI is becoming a very interesting. So let's play this particular video just to get an idea of what Tinker app does, which is from Tinkerly. Can we play this video?
So give us a second.
Yeah.
We're on it.
So an interesting thing which we are also seeing is most of the people who are actually driving, particularly the scientific toy industry, are recent students from various colleges and universities. So in a way, we can say that there is some kind of a silent revolution which is already happening in the toy industry through startups. Only thing is they didn't get that kind of a prominence, particularly like other startups.
So could you please stop sharing your screen? So we will
Okay. Okay. I need to do that. Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good.
Okay, thanks for playing that video.
Seriously.
Yeah, so one of the things which we also see, particularly which happened during a pandemic, is that physical education was something which was difficult to lead.
I would request you to share the screen back again.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things which happened is during the pandemic, these startups have also done a very commendable job in reaching out to a large number of people, a large number of students and kids who didn't have a physical access to classrooms and teachers, etc. So one big thing which we have seen, particularly if you ask me, the role of technology, particularly in toys, bridging the gap between physical and digital worlds. There are a lot of things which happens in physical world can now be emulated in terms of toys, and we have seen a lot of examples. Like there is another startup which came from IIT Delhi, which is called as Smartivity. I am sure if you are in the industry, toy industry, you may have used some of the Smartivity toys. Like one of the best examples is a Smartivity sketchbook or a jigsaw puzzle. So once you do this jigsaw puzzle, what you can do is you can also use augmented reality and your mobile app to see that whatever is the animal or any of the things comes alive on your screen, and you can interact and learn about more about this animal, etc. And Smartivity sketchbooks have been sold in big numbers in the past. And probably if you go to YouTube, probably you can also see a video. I'll not play this particular video just to save the time. There another product which became very famous again during pandemic is Magico. So Magico is again image-based, AR-based kind of a thing, where whatever you do in the physical world, immediately you get a feedback of this in the digital world through a mobile and a stand, where, for example, kids can learn doing additions to querying some of the mathematical questions, and it actually recognizes through imaging and then immediately answers you to. So it's a very highly interactive, and kids love. Good thing is most of these products are very affordable now, and I think it can even probably many of the schools probably can also afford some of these aspects. So you can also look at Smartivity Magico video. I'll probably just skip the video for the time being. Most of us at some stage would have played a digital game of car racing in multiple versions. But very interesting thing is the recent trend of product which came from Hot Wheels, a very well-known brand, is a lot of things which, for example, if I want to emulate a Formula racing, I can do it physically using the modular concepts in this thing. Interesting aspect is it's not just the material which is there. There is a lot of technology which has gone in terms of building this. It uses, for example, some of these products use near field communications, even 5G, to basically give the real world experience, even in terms of toys. If digital games are addictive, these are even more addictive when you actually play in the physical world. And you can do a collaborative learning, and multiple people can play. So technology which probably is listed as emerging, you can already see a lot of manifestation of that, which is in the form of toys, which we are already seeing, particularly this thing. Even like, for example, articles mention one of them as a microchip technology. Microchip technology was extensively used to track the pets, etc. Now they are also being used extensively to, is coming even in terms of toys, which we see in a big way. And voice assistance is another technology which has figured in those articles. And interestingly, the products such as Alexa, which have multiple roles. Good thing about products such as these products is, one is that you can actually use it for your functional purpose. Second thing is they can also be these voice assistant enabled toys have been built in the market. So you can have multiple toys and a voice assistant to use it. And third thing is, in some cases, these voice assistants have also make it accessible even for the people with a visual impairment and other disabilities to use them. So, and there's a lot of things, almost like if you go to Amazon, you can see hundreds of voice assistant robots and products and toys which can be easily bought and used. Another technology which was mentioned in those articles is the electric levitation. And again, there are wonderful toys which are already in the market which use these electric levitation. And one good thing about this thing is they are now coming in a very affordable price range. At one time, they used to be like $100 plus. Now you can even buy it for something like a $20 or even less. So technology is also becoming really affordable as we go ahead, kind of a thing. This is an interesting aspect. We know that technology can take toys to a next level, but toys can also take technology to a next level. I just wanted to let me play this particular video. Maybe there may not be much of this thing. Audio. I think this is my. Okay. Are you able to see? No.
No, so if you can stop sharing, we
Okay.
can hear.
Okay, I think I'll probably may have to do. Okay, this is a video which I have to play. Sorry for this. Let me do it. Let me do it. Just let me share the screen instead of this. Okay. Yeah, probably you'll be able to see it now. So many of you may have seen this video, but it's the beauty of this entire thing is that to actually design a very complex technology, such as rover for space exploration, a toy has been used in multiple versions to first design, test, fail, and modify before you can actually execute. So even companies such as ISRO, together with institutes like Indian Institute of Science, have used some of these technologies actually to build rovers such as the one which are actually shown in this. And the whole Lego technology has reached a level where probably you can do most of the things, not only those which are there in the real world, but even those which do not exist, more of futuristic technologies and kind of stuff is possible. And it actually, what toy world gives you these options is that instead of failing in the real world, is it possible to fail in physical world such as toys and then probably learn from it and execute in the real world. That's something which is a very interesting concept which we are seeing as more and more people are using the Legos in order to build the things, kind of a thing. So this is an example of where you are using a toy to learn more about the technology which you are trying to build. Is a very interesting concept. And there's a lot of science involved in building these products too. And you can see manifestation of this science. Okay, this is also a fairly long video. Probably you can see rest of it from the YouTube. Okay, let me stop it and come back to this thing. So what we are saying is that there is also enough examples now where toys are actually trying to drive the technology to a next level. And it's interesting that toys are not just for fun, but it's also more for that. I was also talking to Peter, who is from Finland, who is very well known for his games such as Angry Birds, etc. So one of the things which came out of this particular discussion is that games and toys are extremely engaging for kids. And is it possible to probably use these mechanisms for more from the educational perspective? And this is one of the games which is now available, which is called as a Big Bang. I don't know whether you have played or not. I spent enough time on this game. Now, what it does is it's a very engaging game, very addictive. But by the time you cross a multiple levels of this, you would have learned a lot about particle physics. In other words, teaching a particle physics in a very conventional way is one, which may be boring for many of the students. But I think using such toys and games in order to basically teach a very complex mathematical, I would say physical systems, etc., is a very interesting. And already it's a pretty popular game across the world. Maybe if you have not tried, it's worth trying once. What we see overall, the picture which is happening is just like we have a industry 4.0, we are right now at a toys 4.0. Lot of sensors, lot of spatial computing and cloud, data and AI ML are making toys as a more of a cyber physical systems and a very interesting world to both experiment as well as to be benefited, which is one of them. And as we said, toys have always been in the front to experiment the technology. But going ahead, even more interesting thing which is likely to happen, and which is there are already trends of that, is 4.0 basically says how do you connect the physical and cyber worlds in a seamless manner. Now, if social world or a social networks too can join, then you also have something which is even more interesting to happen. And this is probably a future agenda for many of the toy designer, that can I exploit physical, cyber and social network to build a completely a new set of toys is something still to happen. And we look forward to that. So coming back to looking at just a glimpse of technologies which are happening both in India and abroad. There are many interesting challenges for designers. The list is very big. I thought I'll just point out 4 or 5 which for the paucity of time. As a designers, what is our role, or what is that we see as a challenge, particularly with technology becoming a very integral part? Is that first thing is technology is of course one aspect of a toy design. As a toy design looks very simple, but I think it's pretty complicated if you look more from the systems perspective. And anybody who is in this field probably can say or vouch for this. So you're not only addressing technology aspects, there are many other aspects like safety, social, cultural, and business aspects. Talking to some of the toy manufacturers, even the people who design the toys, one thing which came up is even there are very interesting business challenges and business models. So toy industry is one where particularly looking at the toys for kids and children, customers are very different from the users. Okay, users are going to be kids, but the people who are going to buy are parents. And there is already a serious conflict between customers and users, whom to satisfy. And even resolving this, basically multiple stakeholders who are a part of a toy design itself is becoming a challenge. But if you add to that more, it requires really a systems level thinking and systems level design to do that, to be successful, particularly from the toys perspective. The second, which is probably very important for us, is all these toys and technologies still are helping only an extremely small percentage of the kids population in the country. Whereas technology is becoming affordable, but the democratization of technology in terms of toys has still not happened in a big way. So how do you take it to almost every school or every kid in the country is still a big challenge. Maybe we are still touching a extremely small percentage. There are many schools and kids who still do not have access to the toys and the learning through toys. So what is that which can be done is a big challenge. And this democratization is a challenge for designers too. The third aspect which we see is that the people with disabilities are still largely excluded from many of the toys. Even universal design is becoming becoming a reality. So what is happening is, just to give an example, if I want to design, let's say a lot of toys which are being designed use visual as a concept to give that kind of an experience. But if you are visually challenged, you don't get the same experience. And making it universal is a much bigger challenge. If I design a toy which is exclusive for people with disabilities, that's something which is not going to, it's neither desirable nor practical. Because for social integration, we want toys where people with disabilities and those normal kids can play together, interact, and the social integration can happen. So designing such toys is another big challenge for the designers. And this is one of the things which we would like to do. And as new gadgets are coming, the interactions which are happening physical and real world is also getting pretty complex. So I'll ask maybe, or let me play this particular video. Sorry for this. So some of you may have seen this video. This is actually not a toy. It's actually a technology product, but it's only a very, probably in a couple of years we may find these toys in the market, and coping with these interactions is going to be a big challenge for designers, and account these interactions in their toy design. Okay, let me come back to my slides. Okay, so that's another aspect that, sorry. Let me just go back. Sorry for this. Okay, so the toy design is happening now in multiple worlds: the physical, real, digital, and the interactions is going to be something which would be of interest to designers. There are also people who are now questioning the role of humans in the entire process. Earlier, the physical world and digital world connection used to happen through humans. With the advent of cyber physical systems, etc., now physical world is seamlessly connected with the digital world without the intervention of a human. So the whole role of human beings and the new gadgets which are going to come is a bigger challenge for designers. So maybe we are actually probably moving towards what Bertrand Russell said many years back. This was like many decades back, but looks like there is a flavor of what he said is slowly now happening. And this is one of his famous quotes. So what I'll do is probably I'll stop it there, and maybe we can have a little bit interaction, which is also planned as a part of this session.
That's a wonderful presentation, sir. And I think it's spoken. There's lots of areas that's been spoken about: the physical world, the present generation, present toys from a little earlier, the present market that is there, the presence of data, machine learning and AI, and its influence on toys on the industry, development of the industry itself. There are a few questions from the audience as well. There's a question from Shweta. What is your take on replacing human interactions with artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so I think I did speak about it a little, and I think as a designers, we still, at least I personally believe that AI is still a tool for me. It cannot replace the humans. There is a lot of explosion can happen in terms of data, information, knowledge, but human element in any design, any product, any interaction is something which is inseparable. And I think the last quote from Russell also tells that key, how do you bring the wisdom into whole of these activities?
Of course, that's probably something that we've been praying. But do you think there is already an infusion of AI and how it is infused with the technology that we are using right now?
It's already, if you see the penetration, it's pretty high. And I think each one of us who are using maybe, if not physical world, at least in digital world, all the websites and apps which we use, we are already influenced by AI in a big way to some extent.
Taking this discussion to a slightly different dimension, how do you think ML AI works or affects human behavior, human psychology? Is it already altering human behavior in a way? Have designers, beyond studying human behavior and designing for human, are we designing for specific human responses?
True. So particularly, let me give an example of from the design perspective. So one of the areas in design which is very prominent is user research or user experience research, which is there. A lot of it used to happen through like collecting the primary data and secondary data, which is a very common procedure or a research methodology in design. But what we are seeing is now there are two competing technologies for this. One is you can understand about user and user experiences a lot through data. So data-driven design is definitely one of the subjects which will probably come in most of the design schools, which is probably would leverage a lot of it on artificial intelligence and machine learning to do that. So that's definitely. And the fourth aspect which is also happening is to even do a brain imaging to see what user thinks. So if I want to do a user research, now I have multiple options: primary research, secondary research, brain imaging, data-driven design. And I think something wonderful probably is going to come out.
I believe there's a huge process of data mining that's been happening, both creative mining and in terms of behavioral data mining that's going on. There's another interesting question from Abrojit. What do you think of traditional toys versus technology?
I think I don't see them as a competing with each other. So as a designer, for example, I would probably leverage both on technology and also the traditional wisdom and conventional procedures, etc., to give that kind of an experience. So we are not saying A or B. We are saying it may be A and B, or toys where you have both A and B, and it's possible to combine.
Perfect. Something that I was looking forward to as well. There's another question. What, according to you, sir, is the responsibility of toys towards its users in today's time? Since it doesn't seem limited to play and engagement alone.
I didn't get the last sentence. Responsibility of?
I'll read that again, sir. What, according to you, is the responsibility of toys towards its users in today's time?
Okay, responsibility of toys or toy designers?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be just play and engagement. It has gone beyond that. So
yeah,
the user wants.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, because still we haven't reached this stage where responsibility of a toys can be talked out, but definitely responsibility of toy designers can definitely. That's why I mentioned that toy design is also becoming a big challenge when you want to bring this responsibility part as a part of your design process. There are both, when we look at both digital and physical toys and the kind of engagement and addiction, there are both positive and negative aspects. And the whole idea is key, how do you, when you sit for a design of a toy, how much of research and information which you have available, how much one is able to look into future is a very important. So in other words, the design is becoming more difficult.
There's one more question from Zankruti. According to you, does technology for toys hinder or help creative play?
I think that there is now an evidence which is there that technology can actually do that. So, but technology per se will not happen. Now, how you use this technology in the form of a product and a solution is a very important. Just putting a technology does not necessarily make it creative. But how do you leverage technology for creative purposes as a part of a design endeavor is more important.
Wonderful. Just as a follow-up to this, technology and toys by itself, do you think we are maturing our kids a little more, like we're maturing apples and mangoes?
Depends on how you define maturity. So definitely the kids of today have more opportunities. They have more access to data, information, even knowledge. But does it make them probably more mature or better citizens? Still, we don't know. At least I don't have answers as of now.
There's one more question from Juhi. How can we make toys which is useful yet harmless to physical and mental body?
I think when it comes to toys, we have very clear regulations in terms of safety. I didn't speak about that. So one of the biggest constraints for designers and the people who produce is how do you take care of these safety constraints which are there? And the standards are also getting expanded. If I look at ASTM standard, American Society of Testing of Materials, the standards are pretty rigorous in terms of what is what should be there in a toy and what cannot be there. So if you are complying with standards, I'm sure Indian standards are also maturing. So if you are complying with these standards, then you don't have to worry.
Thank you so much, sir. Very insightful session. Personally, for me, it was a pleasure listening to you. And I'm sure all the audience have taken back a lot of knowledge from the session itself. On behalf of you, ADW and UID, it was a privilege for us to have you with us today. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thanks for this opportunity, and I would be happy to interact.